All right. Well, I'm gonna say this. Realistically, before being homeless in New York, the only ever time that I ever really had a chance to fully experience not being able to reside in a place of dwelling was when my mom kicked me out of the house briefly for going to parties when she refused me to go to house parties and I would just sneak out of the house and go. So eventually she kind of just got fed up and kicked me out one time. So that's when I experienced sleeping in my car. That's when I experienced that experience of sleeping in my car, not having anywhere to go. I used to have this little blue Chevy Geo that I used to like essentially just get around in because I've always been a sensible type of person in the sense that like I don't like to. If there's no need to be extravagant, then there's no need to be extravagant. But if there's a need to be extravagant, then you'll definitely see me flexing on some niggas. But if there's no need, then there's no need. And especially with having a car, I knew that that wasn't something I needed to flex on because I knew that the whole expenditure of gasoline was something that, you don't necessarily need to be spending that much money on gas. So to give you some context, like I was saying, that was the only time I was ever had to experience sleeping in a car and not having a dwelling. I wasn't necessarily homeless per se. There wasn't that sort of gut wrenching feeling of not having a place of shelter. But I will say that it, I guess it was a stepping stone. So fast forward to living in New York. I've already given you the New York story in a previous video. So this is just mainly what I learned from being homeless because there was throughout that video I left out the part of being homeless. I never actually was able to dwell on that. So being homeless in New York was one of the experiences that like yes we can go on and say it was something that I've never really experienced but it's one of those things that unless you've been homeless before you don't really understand the sense of humans need a couple basic things to survive. They need water, food, and shelter. So if you have water and food but you don't have shelter, you start to get into this disorienting haze, this place of I guess you can call it. I would have to call it this place of maleficent, maleficent. Yes, that's the word, maleficent. The sense of maleficent and the sense of surrealism because life starts to stops making sense for you. Because at night, if you follow the natural flow of a circadian rhythm, in the morning you're supposed to be up and awake, and at night you're supposed to be resting your head in a place of shelter. So now me and my friend Jonathan had spent some time in New York, and the only reason why we were homeless was because we were transitioning from sleeping on Hiram's couch to having our art studio in Queens. But when we left Hiram's place, we had a 1 week transition period between actually being able to get our art studio. So we had nowhere to go. So we put all our stuff in storage and decided, okay, we're just going to be homeless for a week and try to really just make this work. So we would wake up in the morning when we first did it, we kind of had to figure out where exactly were we going to sleep? What exactly was going to be our sort of day-to-day rigmarole? Because when you're in New York, the hustle and bustle, it's easy to sort of get lost and everything, but we knew we had to have some sort of daily routine. So we eventually decided on, after wandering the streets of New York for a while, we eventually decided on our best approach was to sleep on the subway because the subway was a 24-hour service. And I want to thank the New York subway system. I want to thank MTA for having a 24-hour subway system because without your 24-hour subway system, I don't know, I probably would have died in New York. So one of the things that we were able to do was we quickly figured out after a few trials and tribulations and a few systems of experimentation, we eventually figured out that staying in the middle subway was the best bet because you would stay warm because it wasn't venturing out into the other boroughs. So we eventually figured out that if we stayed on this one train in Manhattan, it would take you all the way out to Coney Island and then back and forth that way. So we would just sleep on that train with as little belongings on us as possible so that even if we were to get in a situation where we were robbed or something, it wasn't too big of a deal. So we would go up and down Coney Island. I would be in this weird haze sometimes where I'm waking up and I'm in Manhattan and then I'm falling asleep, and I wake up again, and I'm in Coney Island, and it's dark. Sometimes I see Coney Island at night. Sometimes you see Coney Island in the morning, and you're just in a sense of just like of imbalance. You're in the sense of you have no structure. And really the biggest thing that I was able to learn from this was that when you as a man are faced, because as a man there's always going to be chaos, there's always going to be tumultuous moments where things just aren't what you want it to be. You're probably not eating right, we weren't eating right, you're not getting the same sort of routine and sustenance that you want, but you still have to perform at a high level. And no matter what in life, as men, we're built to have to perform. We are performers. And if you're not somebody who's here to perform, well, then you might as well get the fuck out, because this game is not for you. This game is built for people who want to perform at a high level. And someone like me who has gone through the mud to be able to perform at a high level, I knew that this sort of imbalance was something that I was going to have to adjust to. So in the morning, when we would eventually, the sun would rise, we knew that we had to get a kickstart on our day. So we would spend the majority of our day at the public library. And at the public library, that's where we were able to access the internet. We were able to keep communication and still try to do some kind of venturing and keep the relationship building happening. So one night we went to, and this is one of the craziest sort of juxtapositions that I've ever put myself through, because as an artist, you have to put yourself in places where where your back is up against the wall and you don't really know what's going to come from it. But also, as an artist, you need to create and you need to have experiences that are going to be able to, that you're going to be able to dig from, that you're going to be able to take these experiences and then transmute them into artistic endeavors. So we had gotten the invitation to go to this one party through our poet friend. And like, as per usual, I'm somebody we were all about the dripped out fashion. We didn't really have any money in our pocket, any food in our belly, but my God, when I tell you we were dripped out, draped out, I'm telling you, there was no one in New York on our level, bro. There was no one on our level, dog. Like, everywhere we went, people thought we were movie stars just by the way we were dressed, that essence, that aura. So we went to this party, all well knowing we had nowhere to go. We went to this party as like, to really just try to kill time. I think it was in Dumbo or somewhere, but we went to this party. Like, I'm just someone who's always like, I'm always thinking, I'm always in my head thinking about like the next move, what the next plot is. And like, so sometimes a big part of my energy is like, I'm not able to just let go and have fun. Because sometimes I'm just in a scheming mode. And this party, we went to this party, and throughout this whole time, Jonathan's just like, he's having fun, dancing with bitches, just like really letting loose. I'm just caught up in the idea of like, yo, like, where the fuck am I gonna sleep? Like, what the fuck? What are we gonna do? Like, we have nowhere to go. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just in this whole like sort of like survival, fight or flight like mindset, and like throughout the whole experience, he's just like doing the dance shit, and I'm just finding little nooks and little areas where I can just fucking get some rest, get some Z's, and just like sleep. Like, try to get as much sleep as I can in a place that has this loud music going, but I'm still just trying to get maybe an hour, these little pockets of sleep, to just try to like rest up and try to get my mind in place, So eventually the party ends, and we knew that we had to just kind of usher out and leave, like kind of like swiftly, but we decided like, yo, we have nowhere to go and sleep, so we might as well just like take advantage. And I knew we couldn't sleep in the room where they're having the party, so we decided like, let's just sleep in the bathroom. And as we're sleeping in this bathroom, we quickly get to realizing that it's fucking cold as shit, dude. And sleeping in this bathroom while being homeless in New York, this is what I was telling you. There was one of those moments where the juxtaposition and the experiences you have in your life, you have to use those to transmutate and create art. We were dressed up in fur coats, like just to the nines in fashion, but we were sleeping in this dingy bathroom in New York on the ground, and it smells like absolute dog shit in there, dude. Absolute dog shit. So now in your mind, you kind of think, you're this hot ass motherfucking like top notch nigga like star shit, and you're sleeping in a fucking shitty bathroom in New York, dude, on the ground, huddled up beside your at the time really close friend, and you guys are just trying to share body heat to try to stay warm in this shitty bathroom. So and if you think that that didn't have some kind of effect on me, I'm telling you, there's no amount of stoicism that could get you through that moment. Like, that's just one of the moments where you take it on the chin and realize that, like, yo, you're going to be jaded from this situation. Because you think you're hot shit and you're sleeping in a fucking bathroom that smells, whose shit smells stinkier than yours. My fucking God, bro. Like, being homeless was, like, it's one of those things that really fucks with your psyche. It fucks with your mind because you have nowhere to go. Everybody has somewhere that they need to be. Family members, even if it's like a shitty relationship or a shitty marriage, at least they have a place that they can put a roof over their head. And let me not even get you started on showering. The whole showering thing is just out the window. It's out the window. But I knew that regardless of not eating, not having a place to sleep, being homeless, all these checks and balances that were starting happening inside of like the place, I knew that like none of it fucking mattered, because as long as I knew that we were on the mission of trying to achieve success, I knew that I was like, throw more shit at me. Throw more shit at me. If not having any money, not being able to shower, having to sleep on the fucking subway system, having to sleep in shitty bathrooms, I was like, who gives a fuck? Throw more shit at me. Because it doesn't matter what you put on my fucking shoulders, I'm still gonna make it through. And this story is just to go to show you that, like, through perseverance and through being able to persevere, and having this burning desire to accomplish your goals, you're going to achieve anything that you want. Like, success is impossible if you tell yourself, like, yo, I'm willing to sleep on a fucking floor in a bathroom to achieve what I need to achieve. And a lot of you are not willing to put yourself in situations like that. Like, a lot of you are just coasting, bro. Like, let's be fucking real right now. A lot of you are coasting, and you know you're fucking coasting, and you don't want to do anything about it. Like, if you wanted to really achieve success, take all your safety nets and throw them out the fucking window for the next 3 years and just grind and put yourself through a meticulous grind that's gonna literally spit you out and show you some shit that you've never seen of yourself. Like, if you put yourself through that in the next 3 years, I guarantee you the man that you're gonna be looking at in the mirror, you're not gonna recognize. But most of you guys are scared to do that. Most of you guys are dog shit scared to put yourself through situations that are fucking risk take. You gotta take risks. You gotta take fucking risks. And if you're not willing to take risks, and you're not willing to put yourself through situations that are gonna test you, that are gonna put you through the mud, situations that are going to literally like eat you alive, then you're not really necessarily, you don't want to be an artist, man. Because being an artist is hard. It's like the nigga who gambles away everything all the time. You're literally gambling with your psyche. You're gambling with relationships. You're gambling with people's perception of you. And throughout all this, you're telling yourself, I'm going to be the hyper successful person. First, you're starting off by telling yourself a fucking lie. And then you have to prove to yourself that this is not a lie. It can actually become reality. So for any of you guys out there saying, oh, I want to make art, I want to become art, I want to do this, I want to do that, fuck you. You're not going to do shit. There's not a want. It's a need. It's a burning desire from the outskirts of divinity in the universe that you have to achieve these artistic endeavors. It's not something you wake up and say, oh, today I want to fucking make some shoes today. No, bro. No, today I want to fucking be a silk screener or a silk printer or a silk screen some shirts, some fucking t-shirts. I want to make another fucking t-shirt brand. No, fuck you, man. You ain't making shit until you wake up and you have a burning desire to achieve what you want. You ain't doing anything. You ain't gonna do shit, and you ain't never gonna do shit.